Young Thug is the worst friend ever. Why? My question is why? I've been seeing this shit about Young Thug. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing this shit about all this shit.
I made him.
I know whenever he came out, he had a point to prove, but the shit that I've been seeing online, I really don't like it, y'all. So Blackie Speaks usually breaks this shit down. Let's see what he got to say. Young Thug is the worst friend ever. Facts, nigga.
I made him a millionaire. I know for a fact, me personally, I know your dad don't look at you like a real nigga. I know that. That's my man's. Your dad is my OG. I told you to go down there to the country town and get your daddy, no matter what your differences is with your daddy. I went half on your mama house and bought your mama house, bro, because you didn't have the money. I went half with you.
So he's talking about Gunna, right?
Now, like most of you know, Young Thug has been in the headlines in the rap world for a lot of different things. The biggest one being for cooperating with the police, which ruined his street credibility as someone who promotes that lifestyle. The biggest one being for cooperating with the police, which ruined his street credibility as someone who promotes that lifestyle. And most recently, he was also trending for calling Glorilla ugly in a leaked jail call.
I saw the girl, Gorilla. Why don't people say she pretty?
No, the fact, no. The fact that nigga called her Gorilla, that's fucked, nigga. What the fuck?
The Gorilla. Why don't people say she pretty? That be ugly as fuck.
Thug is also
crazy.
Trending for his continued effort to recover from the damage that has been done to his career and his reputation. But the one thing I haven't seen anyone talk about is how Young Thug has to be the worst friend ever. So let's touch on that. Now, yesterday, Young Thug did an interview with a platform called the Big Facts Network. It's his first official interview since the police cooperation scandal. And although he said a lot of things, I want to focus on something he said regarding his friendship with Gunna. Now, Gunna and Young Thug, as most of you guys know, fell out after that RICO case came crashing down on both of them. Gunna ended up spending some time incarcerated and eventually got released in December 2022 after taking an Alford plea deal. That cemented Gunna as a snitch to some, and others didn't blame him for it considering the circumstances. That aside, however, I thought this interview with Young Thug from yesterday, actually, that dropped, was really interesting because he had a very passionate conversation about his relationship with Gunna. The part I want to focus on is the part where he was essentially counting all the things that he did for him. So I want you to listen to the clip in question and just pay attention to what he's saying, okay?
I made him a millionaire. I bought his first apartment that he lived in. I bought it with my money. I made him put his money up. Keep your money. I bought it with my money because I had a little extras. I bought that shit. I went half and half with you to buy your mama house. Your mama first house. Get her out of the hood.
Now, there's a lot to break down here, and the majority of it is
that true, though? Is that true? If he went half, like, if he actually went half with Gunna to buy his first mama's... y'all know that's like an accomplishment, right? To buy your mother a house, something bigger, better than y'all lived in, right? But if he actually went half with that nigga and he hasn't spoke to him since he got out, that's kind of fucked. Just leaving it at that.
Lesson for a lot of us as it relates to friendships. Some of us have been blessed with great friendships and fruitful relationships that have elevated us mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, depending on what kind of friendship we're talking about, right? It's a great conversation to have because it's such a relatable topic. But before we go there, let's take a trip down memory lane and touch on the beginning of their friendship. Back in 2015, a young Gunna ended up meeting Young Thug, who was already an established artist at the time. They met through a mutual friend, and his name was Keith King Troop. At the time, Thug had released his mixtape, Barter 6, and Gunna stopped by a video shoot for a song from the project. It was for the song With That, which was their first interaction. Thug and Gunna became mutuals. They became homies who eventually kicked it here and there. But that friendship intensified after the man who had introduced them, King Troop, was gunned down outside a gas station on December 12, 2015.
Justin, this is where that killing happened. Right here in front of this gas station, you can still see some of the victim, Keith Troop's friends there, right where he was shot at the front door of that gas station. And late this afternoon, I want to show you this real quickly.
After the death of King Troop, was started as a casual friendship, then intensified as the two went to the funeral and it brought them closer. Then they started to have more of a working relationship in the music industry, and Gunna was spending a lot of time around Thug working together with him. Young Thug then featured Gunna on his iconic 2016 release, Jeffrey, and that was...
And this is the thing. This is the fucking thing. You come out, right? You get out of jail. You're on probation now, right? Or parole, whatever they want to call it. And you're talking about niggas ain't do shit for you? I don't fuck with niggas because if they a snitch or gay, you don't fuck with them. But your whole artist aesthetic was to wear a fucking dress. Let's wear a dress. Let's do it. Let's pose for the fucking camera, nigga. What the fuck are you doing? That makes you sound blasphemous, thug. Let's be real. Let's be real. That shit makes you blasphemous as fuck. It does. That has nothing to do with what you're doing. You're doing something totally insane. You're saying blasphemous shit that is just hypocritical of what you really mean to say. It makes no sense.
The start of a very long friendship. Through their relationship is how Gunna also met key collaborators like Lil Baby, which eventually led to a joint project with Lil Baby and some very successful songs. Even though Gunna started as Young Thug's protege at the beginning of his career, Gunna eventually built his own lane and established his own name in the music industry. As his relationship with Young Thug continued to grow year after year, things eventually took a halt in May 2022 after Gunna, Young Thug, and their crew members got hit with RICO charges. Gunna spent some time behind bars and eventually got out after taking that Alford plea deal. And Gunna and Young Thug's friendship was over the second they both got arrested. And Young Thug, in the interview clip I showed you, spoke about how much he helped Gunna, which is something Gunna never, shied away from. He always credited Young Thug as a person who helped him early on when he didn't really have to. And I think what Young Thug did for Gunna in his early days is forever going to be a part of his story. And it's nothing even Gunna would ever deny. However, how Thug is talking about all of it is honestly rubbing me the wrong way. Thug in the clip I played you stated that he bought Gunna his first apartment with his money when Gunna didn't have shit. He also stated that he made him a millionaire, emphasis on he. Young Thug also stated that he put half of his money to buy Gunna's mother a house so Gunna could, get her out the hood. Young Thug also stated that he was the one who told Gunna to settle the differences with his own father. So now we unfortunately know the private details of Gunna's family dynamics thanks to Young Thug. And Thug also stated that Gunna's own father doesn't look at him like a real nigga because Gunna's dad is apparently Thug's OG.
I told you to go down there to the country town and get your daddy, no matter what your differences is with your daddy. I know for a fact, me personally, I know your dad don't look at you like a real nigga. I know that. This my man's. Your dad is my OG. He don't look at you like that. I made you go get your dad. I made you reunite with your family and do the right thing.
And Thug also stated that he gave Gunna more time than his own children and the mother of his children.
I just poured my all into him, bro. I gave this nigga more time than my children, bro. I gave him more time than my kids. I gave him more time than my old lady. Like, I poured my life into these people.
Which is absolutely insane. Thug then once again stated that he went half with Gunna to buy Mama Dukes a house, okay, his mom's, Gunna's mom, because Gunna didn't have any money. That's what he said.
I went half on your mama house and bought your mama house, bro, because you didn't have the money. I went half with you.
He also said that he, Young Thug, bought...
And that makes that nigga, oh my gosh, Jeffrey, that makes you a way bigger fucking bitch than you already are being portrayed in the media. You're putting that business out. I went half with you because you didn't have the money. Like, okay, so that nigga's music is way better than yours. Let me know besides Check and that other fucking joint. What is that called? It's called, Horses don't stop, they keep going. Besides that shit, bro, let's be honest. Who else is listening to anything other than, bro, Gunna's had fucking bangers, bro. And you fucking over here trying to fucking put that nigga's business out. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, bro. I don't see that.
Gunna's brother,
I don't.
His first truck and
That's
let Gunna
bullshit,
play
bro.
it off like he bought it for him.
I bought your brother his first truck and let you present
You
it to
coming
him
out
like you
on
bought
media
it.
like you fucking actually.
And he ended it by saying that he didn't do it for no reason other than that he had love for his brothers. Now, for the people who get it, y'all get it, okay? The message for today is be very careful who you allow to help you in this life. Now, some people have been, pointing out the opposite of this conversation,
Blackie.
which is be careful who you help. Although that is a great point overall, because not everybody deserves a helping hand, because some people will be 6 feet deep in a ditch screaming for help, and as soon as you crouch down to, help them, they'll drag your ass down just like that, okay, and feed you to the alligators, okay? That's a very real thing I've experienced myself, and I'm sure you have as well, okay? However, for this particular situation, I don't think that applies at all. Understand that Young Thug didn't help Gunna because he wanted nothing out of the situation. He helped him because they had a mutual working relationship. Thug even stated when he first discovered Gunna, he really saw the potential in him, which means he's seen musical talent in him before the world did, okay? The only difference between both of them at the time is that when Gunna was receiving the help from Thug, he wasn't where he was supposed to be. However, he was very much heading in that direction. And the reason why I'm
Gunna was like 5'11", like 5'9", 260. That nigga was like 260. On God. Now that nigga's like 180. Pulling bad of him. That's crazy.
very adamant about saying it like that is because, you know, a lot of people like to pretend that because a person assisted another person on their journey to success, they suddenly created that success for them, completely negating the fact that success was already a part of their destiny. In the words of Jay-Z, I heard motherfuckers saying they made Ho. Made Ho say, okay, so make another Ho. Or The Weeknd's line from Sidewalks comes to mind as well when he says, because too many people think they made me. Well, if they really made me, then replace me. Young Thug reminds me of one of those people who, you know, tries to help you and then the whole time they're counting every single thing that they're doing for you.
Exactly. Help a nigga. But make sure you know, nigga, I did this for you. That's bullshit.
And the
That's
biggest
bullshit.
issue here is when, you know, those people who supposedly are helping you in good faith, when they decide to tell other people how you weren't shit before they helped you. I mean, how real of a thing was it if the whole world had to know? How real is it if we now know that Gunna and his father weren't on good terms, and without you, his entire family would have supposedly crumbled, right? You can never make another man a millionaire. That is absolutely not possible. What is possible, however, is putting a man in a position in order to make millions. Those are two completely different things. There's a lot of people who've been put in positions to win, but they weren't able to do anything with that. On the other side, you have somebody who nobody ever handed anything to, and despite that, they come out on the other side with all types of bags, all kind of success, and they're just blessed in their life. Not because anything came to them, but because they went after it. And they were, of course, lucky because luck plays a very big part in becoming successful. There's so much that has to line up at the right time for things to go your way, but that's another conversation. I'm sure all of us have experienced this kind of thing. You have to realize that a lot of people in this world will go out of their way to help you, not because they care, but because they want to be attached to that success that was already in your future. There's a reason why everybody wants to help someone who's already on the up and up. It's almost like investing in a stock that's guaranteed to make you infinite returns. You simply can't lose. Some people might say, well, you know, Gunna didn't really have anything back then. And I say, you're wrong, because with or without Young Thug, he was always gonna find a way. He was always gonna become the man that he is today. The only difference is that the path would have looked different. You know, if you ever have someone in your life who genuinely wants to help you, you'll know, because they'll never take credit for your success when you eventually become that version of you that you always were destined to become. And I think this is a very important lesson for a lot of us. In most cases, you're only going to see that your friend is just like Young Thug when push comes to shove, when you're no longer under their wing and they can't control your success anymore. The only thing Gunna is under right now is, you know, he's under those dumbbells, okay? Honestly, I think 2025 is the year a lot of us seen the real side of a lot of people. There's a lot of changes that are happening in the world as we speak, and spiritually, there's something in the air that divides people now more than ever, especially when they're not aligned. I think this story is a representation of just that. Be mindful of who you allow to help you, and don't always be so quick to accept a helping hand, especially if you know what your future holds for you. So nobody can, you know, come out the cut and say that they made you, because with or without their help, you would have figured that shit out 1000%. I believe that. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this topic, though. Drop a like for the algorithm. Subscribe.
Good shit, Blackie.
My name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you.
Blackie
Speaks. Having a good
shit, Blackie. That was good. I ain't gonna lie. It brought the true colors up to light. I don't feel like Young Thug. I feel like if anybody has the position to say something, it's not you, Young Thug. You trying to down all these niggas on what they did, what they said, blah, blah, blah. Make the music. That's what you're known for? Make the music. I'll fuck with you, Thug, but make the music, bro. Music speaks for itself. Like, that makes no sense to me. I don't know.